The Crooked Epic, 1, The Inn of Maniacal Madness, 11, Christopher, the Airplane, 11B, 1. When the three men entered the cave Friday morning, Christopher sensed something was mysteriously changed within the dank walls of the catacombs' upper level. It was like an echoing vibration had bounced about it from Hob and back, deflected from Earth, and had left a residual buzz throughout the rocks and the crystallized tunnels. Like shell shock or tinnitus, yet without ringing, accumulated an invisible static frequency. It was as if the walls themselves were vibrating with a strange alien energy. Clarence and Gerard pulled carts behind them, and each had backpacks on their shoulders and duffel bags. They were walked ahead to the hole within the cavern floor. After a few trips to the barn and back, Christopher knelt over and began untying a long rappel rope, anchor wedges, and two cables for lowering their equipment. Becoming more acclimated with the air in the cavern, Christopher stood up and walked over to the edge of the hole, staring down deep within the darkness. A damp rush of air blew through the hole. Moisture that collected along the cave walls sparkled rays of lights, refracting through crystals and that sprinkled droplets of water. As the cool breeze swirled across the cavern, it spun outward through the mouth of the cave into the pink sunrise hues of the atmosphere on Earth. Christopher looked back through the mouth and saw the alto-cumulus clouds of the western horizon. As he did, Chris heard a shuffling beneath the ledge of the hole and stared downward to watch the same roll of papers that contained handwriting that resembled Alex's skitter along the escarpment of the chasm. He set down his backpack and unloaded the cart. Before he descended the escarpment, he looked again at the letters. Christopher read through them, studying them for the details which provided clues to the world he was entering in moments. They provided insights to the evildoers who lurked beyond the cavern walls. He was struck with grief by the incredible courage shown by his son in the face of such maniacs. Tearfully, he wedged them in a rock which lay not far from where Alex was trapped behind the walls of the cavern, barely surviving by the illusion-causing chemicals which still permeated his body these final days of turmoil and battle against the masterminds of Hob. The team quickly unpacked the radio antenna system and placed two of the units on the top level near the hole. As they did, Christopher walked back to the barn on his property for the last time and picked up another load of boxed materials on his cart and another backpack of radio supplies. He rushed back up the hillside as soon as possible while the other two men finished anchoring the cables. Mr. Good attached the two duffel bags to the wires and lowered them. As Mr. Good dropped the two cables below him, Clarence Hill descended first, one holding Clarence's backpack and one containing the cart. Next, Gerard took the rope, and Mr. Good dropped his and Gerard's backpacks on the cables. Finally, Mr. Good descended the rope, anchored to two crevices between rocks in the cavern. When he was midway down the hole, he saw the papers, just a short way to his right, had landed and become stuck on the rocky surface of the wall. Trying not to look down, he swung far over to the right and grabbed the letters. He called down to both Hill cousins, letting them know that he had to climb back up to the top. At the top of the hole again, he took the letters and examined them more. From his first entry into Hob, he recognized Alex's distinct handwriting, and again was filled with rage. He walked over to the antenna unit nearest the top of the hole, wedged the documents back beneath it, returned, and climbed down the rope to the bottom. The long, constricted tunnel led their crawl to the exit of the catacomb, wheeling the cart and shuffling through with their luggage. First, as the hells began the passage, Christopher set up three more antennas and double-checked the readiness of the rope to the top. After he was sure of the durability of his equipment, Mr. Good followed through the lengthy, narrow, and suffocating tunnel system. With Clarence Hill again leading the way through the rough surfaces and scratching crystals which lined each wall and floor of the black tunnel, the trio of war heroes continued forth to Hob. When Gerard reported the sighting of a faint light reflecting more brightly against the crystals behind them, the other two men could only receive his observation as correct. However, they could not confirm it for themselves and took his word for it. Finally, Christopher Good watched as Clarence Hill stood up in front of him and disappeared into the fog. As Mr. Good pulled the cart out of the cave, he was enclosed in the dense fog near the entry to Hobbs' graveyard.